Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we are here for some Truck Series racing, Xfinity Series, as well as some Cup Series racing. But we start today's episode off with some big news for the first time since Denny Hamlin's silly season news announcement. We have some more, but this time it involves our own team here of Hendrick Motorsports announcing today that Rick Hendrick is set to step down from his lead position at HMS at the end of the season. It's time for me to take a step back, said Rick Hendrick. Of course, you guys know at this point in the career mode, he would be getting quite up there in age. So Jeff Gordon will take the lead role at HMS starting next season, as a team will now be called JG Motorsports, obviously. Jeff Gordon Motorsports now, but will of course still have that Hendrick Motorsports legacy living on, and that is just the first little bit of Hendrick Motorsports news that you're going to be hearing throughout this season. Now, so there's going to be some things changing. You know, Hendrick Motorsports has been struggling a lot in the career mode, specifically this season, so definitely look for some changes here, as we are still winless as a whole team coming into today's episode. So hopefully today will be a good opportunity to turn things around and actually get one of our cars to victory lane, preferably, of course, ourselves in that 24 car. But we come through into the first race of the day here at Dover. We will be at Richmond in the Cup Series with that modded custom schedule. But we had subscriber Bryson Dodson in the truck for us here today in the Jegs 200 here in Dover. He started on the outside, so wasn't in the greatest spot, but fortunately for Bryson, he was able to get to the bottom very quickly here on this opening lap in Dover, as he would get up the inside there into turns 3. And once he got up that inside, he was just wasting absolutely no time whatsoever and trying to make some aggressive moves 3 wide down the front straightaway as he went down into turns 1. So already making up a good chunk of ground here in this first opening lap or so, as there were 3 wide in front of him here, as he was not hesitating though to get in on that action when he could. So just very quickly he was moving himself towards the front. Now you see him up the inside there of the 40 of Max Gutierrez, a driver that's full-time in both trucks and Xfinity this season now, as he came through at turns 4. Dodson up already into the top 5 up the inside of Austin Hill in the P16, or in the number 16 car for P3, and he would complete the pass there. Then you'd get to the inside of the 88 there and make a little bit of contact actually as he came through at turns 2, got him sideways, but he would keep him straight. And as we went down into turns 3, we would now move up into second place, and as we went down into turns 1 a little bit later, now Bryson Dodson would make a pass for the lead late here in the Jegs 200. So up to P1, looking for, I think, our second win on the season here, or third. I can't remember what it's about to be, but as we go down into turns 3 now on the final lap here in the Jegs 200, you can see the gap we were able to open up here with Bryson Dodson behind the wheel out of turns 4. He would come through to pick up the victory here for our truck team. So very, very happy with that result there. Couldn't really ask for anything better than that. Now, as you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen, Chandler Smith rounding out the top 10 there, as you see Spencer Boyd in the top 25, and then at the very bottom there, Angela Rutch as well as Mike Harmon. So a great way to start off this episode so far. As you see, that was sure enough our second win on the season in the Truck Series. But we come through now into the Xfinity Series race here with Paul Menard behind the wheel once again at Dover for the One Main Financial 200. Not once again in a good starting position like we were for the trucks. We were also on the outside again, so Paul right off the bat has to find a way to get to that inside line as quickly as he can here in this race. There you see Josh Bilicki sent to the back after failing technical inspection here as we get ready to go green. So Paul, he wasn't even inside the top 10 here now, as he's gotten a couple of victories for our team this season. We've had a few multi-time winners in the Xfinity Series so far this season now, as Paul, of course, would like to get another victory and add on to that list of getting what win number 3 would be if he could pull it off here today now. But unfortunately on this opening lap, he was already struggling to find an opportunity to get down to that inside line as Ty Gibbs was leading, but right there out of turns 4, his opportunity opened up, and now he would take that and start making moves here up the inside as he went on into turns 1, 3 wide already with Landon Castle as well as Ryan Sieg. But Ty Gibbs leading the way. As you guys know, Ty Gibbs will be in the Cup Series next season in our career mode in replacement of Denny Hamlin, who was calling it a Cup Series career at the end of this season. So I'm very excited to see what Ty Gibbs will be able to do in that 11 car. Hamlin already has a win this season. He's locked into the playoffs, but other than his early win in the season, he's actually been kind of struggling a little bit now, lately at least in the last handful of races. So we'll see if he can turn that around here today in Richmond. But now a little bit later, Paul Menard up the inside of the 51 there of Jeremy Clements, getting past him. But unfortunately, once he completed this pass into turns 1, that was as far as he got for the rest of the race. As we come through to the final lap now, through turns 3 and out of turns 4, he had opened up a bit of a gap to Clements, but now out of turns 4, coming through to cross the line for a pretty subpar finish here of P9 for Paul Menard in Dover for the One Main Financial 200. Justin Allgaier ended up passing Gibbs late in the race to pick up the victory. Now, Allgaier definitely getting towards the end of his career here in the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. It very well could be his final season as well in the Xfinity Series now. A big veteran, of course, of this career mode, getting close to calling it a career for sure now. As we come through into the Cup Series here with the Richmond race getting ready to go, as we have the Razor paint scheme back on the car. Now, as we've been really mixing it up with paint schemes this season, we've been running Dr. Pepper a lot. I want to get a new Spotify paint scheme made, so stay tuned on that. I have a cool little idea for that one that I'm going to bring it to life soon. I actually want to get a Spotify scheme and then run it a lot more often than usual now. As we come through, though, to qualify with a 20.907 for the Federated Auto Parts 400, and that puts us P19 on the inside. So about where I expected to be honest with you now, as the car felt a little bit too loose in qualifying, so I was definitely going to plan to run a bit of a tighter preset here in the races. As you see, Timmy Hill down there in P33, but Daniel Hemrick all the way down in last place, so an awful qualifying effort for that Penske Racing driver now, as Anthony Alfredo, Chase Elliott just in front of us, Kyle Larson up there in P14. In the top 10, we got one Hendrick car, and that's Alex Bowman in the 48, and on pole, we got Denny Hamlin along with Tyler Reddick there in that number 42 car, joining him on row number 1. All right, boys, it's been up and down lately. I mean, we know we haven't had the speed that we've needed. I think short tracks are our best opportunity to capitalize when we're a little bit down on speed. So I think tonight's going to be a good chance to get some crucial points and get ourselves at a better spot in the points here. So let's go have a good night. There you hear myself on the radio to the team as we get ready to go green for the Federated Auto Parts 400 now, as Alex Bowman is well prepared for this race. You see that fire symbol, that is indicating he's going to be pretty fast, so definitely watch out for him. That's a good sign for HMS. Austin Dillon failed pre-race inspection. He is sent to the back in P40. Hemrick moves up a spot there into P39 as we still start on the now outside instead of the inside, as we did initially qualify P19 but move up into P18 now as the green flag is out and we are underway here in the Federated Auto Parts 400. You heard myself on the radio mention that when it comes to short tracks, in a season where Hendrick Motorsports as a whole so far has been lacking speed, we definitely have a good opportunity to get a good run here today at a short track where it really doesn't require to have good speed to really actually be competitive now. As you saw, a bit of a moment into turns 1 there. It was 3 wide with Alfredo. We made a little bit of contact with him, so it wasn't the start we were looking for. As we come through out of turns 4, we got the front row Motorsports driver of Todd Gilliland up the inside, but I clear him down into turns 1, so I kind of chop his nose a little bit there, cut across him, making sure I get up the inside of the Red Bull of Christian Eckes here, as we're up the inside now of Chase Elliott on the exit of the corner. A bit of an awkward moment right there. Chase Elliott has been winless now for nearly a season and a half. Have actually increased his rating even more from last season, expecting him to return to victory lane, but here he is struggling tonight, and you gotta wonder, when is Chase Elliott gonna get fed up? He is wasting some of his prime years potentially in his Cup Series career on a team that right now is struggling quite significantly now, as I have upped the ratings for Hendrick Motorsports and whatnot with our own drivers, and it's not been paying off right now. As Alex Bowman, though, he was leading the way on lap 4, so that was a good sign for our team right now as we exit turn 4, and right now, at this point, it's not just about the 24 car for us that we're focusing on. We're focusing on Hendrick Motorsports as a whole, with the news coming out today that Rick Hendrick is stepping down. It will now be Jeff Gordon running HMS and be rebranding to Jeff Gordon Motorsports or JG Motorsports next season in the career mode. So it's going to be interesting to see if we maybe decide to stick with HMS or JG Motorsports now that we know what's going to be happening for the future of this race team. So definitely stay tuned on that and let me know what you guys think of that news, of course. And like I said, there will be more news about this team coming at a later time this season now, as we were actually under pressure from Noah Gragson. We were moving our way throughout the field, which was a nice boost of confidence here. About now the halfway point in stage 1, Alex Bowman, he was actually running away from the field now as we came through into turn 3 now at the inside of Justin Haley, and sure enough, we're just slowly moving our way forwards closer and closer to the top 10 now as the 45 of Derek Kraus. He was trying to put some pressure on as I was up the inside now of Denny Hamlin. You got to be really careful in the exit of these corners. Richmond's a really weird track with AI, where if you clip them out of turns 2, a whole straightaway later into turn 3, they're going to completely lose the car now, as that pretty much happens every time we come here, at least once or twice. So now as we came through the lap 13, though, making a pass on Eric Almirola out of turns 2, a little bit of contact right there between himself and I, as I was just mentioning about that contact, and as we went down into turn 3, he surprisingly doesn't lose the car, but we move up into P10, now in a position to get some stage points. But we would not waste any more time running down the cars in front of us. Now on lap 16 of 19 in stage 1, to the back of Christopher Bell, to the inside of the number 2 of Ryan Preece. Christopher Bell having a very strong season so far with that 20 car now, as this is honestly a season where his career is on the line, so he is making it worthwhile so far now, as Kraus actually looks to my outside with 3 laps to go here in this first and opening stage. Bowman leads the way down the back straight away into turns 3 as he's running away with stage victory. I have a bit of a moment right there, I had to check up, but we would continue fighting now, actually getting back past Kraus with 2 laps to go. Back up the inside again of Ryan Preece down this back straight away into turns 3, but this time we're going to try and make it work, and sure enough, yes we do, we clear him and move up into P9 as we exit turn 4 to start this final lap in stage 1. Alex Bowman leading the way, and we're only the second Hendrick car in the top 10 right now as we go down into turns 1 and 2 for the final time. Up ahead, Noah Gregson continuing to move his way forwards. Kraus behind us in P10 trying to put some pressure on, but not close enough as we go down into turns 3 and 4 for the final time in stage 1. Alex Bowman picks up a playoff point with the stage victory, and as we come through to cross the line here in 9th place for the first and opening stage of the Federated Auto Parts 400. So I was pretty happy about that because, you know, we started in P18, we moved up about 9 positions, so I was pretty satisfied with that stage 1 result. I really didn't get a great idea of what this car is going to be able to do in the long run, but hopefully we can close in towards more of the top 5 area. That would kind of be what I would hope for, at least. But nonetheless, the way the season has gone, I'd be satisfied with the top 10 tonight now, as we're going to get ready to take the green flag here for this for the second stage. But here you see the current running order on your screen. Of course, an easy pit call for us to make: 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 fresh tires now as we get ready to go green from now P8. We gain 1 spot on the pit lane. We'll be starting behind our rival of Joey Logano here on the outside as Alex Bowman, stage 1 winner, starts alongside on the front row with Hailie Deegan as we are underway now. Hailie Deegan hasn't had the greatest start to her rookie season with Stuart Haas Racing, but has definitely been picking it up performance-wise lately here in the last probably 3 to 4 races or so now as we exit turns 2. The 45 of Kraus up the inside as we go down this back straightaway now as Matt DiBenedetto looks just behind us as he actually gets into the left-hand side of us. He slides up the track around, he goes right into him, and the caution is about to come out now as he goes fully around, and there, sure enough, the caution comes out after a crazy start to stage 2, and now we lose all of our positions that we had just gained in stage 1 and drop down to P19 now, as I have no idea what DiBenedetto was doing right there. He just decided instead of to turn to the inside of the corner, he just kept on going into the side of me and just messed over not only himself but myself as well as we drop down to P19. So now all of a sudden, well, we've got a lot of work to do if we want to get anywhere now as we are back underway, but now in stage 2 here in Richmond, it is time to get amped. There you have amped here from Richmond now as we had moved up from P19 to P14, now battling for P13. But look who's up front, Derek Kraus in his first season in the 2311 car for the number 45, leading the way here in Richmond. Another driver that we've seen some strong performances out of recently now, as there's quite a few drivers that started off the season pretty rough and now they're starting to pick it up. We're seeing that from Derek Kraus, we're seeing that from Hailie Deegan as well, we're seeing that from Deegan's teammate of Brad Keselowski, as Stuart Haas as a whole has really been struggling. Matt DiBenedetto did get a win for them earlier this season at Auto Club Speedway, I believe it was, but other than that, they really haven't had a whole lot of speed, similar to Hendrick Motorsports. But now we were up to P11, but then Sam Mayer, the rookie in the 99 for Trackhouse Racing, actually slips up the inside here as we go down into turn 3. He gets past, and Logano actually just drives into the back of me and wrecks himself into the outside wall. Hamlin actually gets his car back going in the right direction. He loses a bunch of track position there, and we would continue on our way now as the number 2 car of Ryan Preece. He was falling way off the pace race. He was actually getting passed by Sam Mayer and now getting passed by myself on lap 15 of 36 here in Stage 2. Stage 2 way longer, of course, than Stage 1, almost double the length now. But we move up into P11. Chase Elliott, my teammate, he has a bunch of damage from that earlier incident, I believe, with the Benedetto, I'm going to guess it was from. Now, as he was continuing to follow me through the order, we once again pass Eric Almirola now on lap 17 and move back into the top 10, and we run down Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 6th car, who's having a strong run tonight, but we pass him as well, move up into P9. Elliott would follow through and move up into P10, but now out of turns 4 on lap 20, Elliott putting some pressure on myself, looking up the inside with 16 laps to go here in the second stage. We can make it to the end of Stage 2 with absolutely no problem at all, so it's really just send it to the end here, as I make a bit of a mistake right there, got a little bit tight, and then I lost the back end on the very exit of the corner. But Elliott continuing to move his way forward, so we have 3 Hendrick cars in the top 10 right now, as Kyle Larson is the only HMS car on the outside of that top 10 looking in here, as Ryan Blaney, another driver that's been struggling there, as I have a bit of a voice crack, ignore that, but Blaney, another McLaren driver that's really been struggling in his first season with this team, but once again tonight he's been having a good run, and last episode as well he had some decent speed, but we would pass him for P9, send him down to P10. But look who was having a terrible run late in Stage 2. We lapped Christian Eckes, who's in 40th place, but he's not going to be in 40th for long, because Chase Briscoe now on the pit lane with a blown engine. He would surprisingly not be out of the race. He would actually carry back on. He would come to the pit lane, fix the car, get back going. Now as we came through to the final 3 laps of the stage, trying to run down Sam Mayer for P8 as Chase Elliott was continuing to move his way forwards. Kyle Larson was down at like P38 or so at this point in the stage, so he is having a horrendous run here tonight in Richmond. So we would get past him. We would now look up the inside of Todd Gilliland on the final lap of Stage 2 to put him a lap down as well. But Derek Kraus was already coming through turn 3 and out of turns 4 to win Stage 2 here in Richmond, as we're up the inside of that 96 here of Brandon Jones, a 2-time winner on the season, as we exit turns 4 down the front straightaway. And once again here in Stage 2, we're going to get a top 10, and once again it will be P9 as well. So strong start so far to this race in the first half as we get ready to go green for the start of the third and final stage. Hopefully we can get an even better result now, as usually we get better than P9 or so in Richmond, so I'm definitely expecting better things in Stage 2. Car feels pretty good, but once again, honestly, I think the speed is a little bit more important than we anticipated, because we're just lacking that again. But overall, I'm actually pretty happy with the car, guys, so I think we got something here, at least a top 10 on the night. And there you hear myself once again on the radio to the team. There you see this running order in your left side of the screen. Briscoe is 3 laps down. He is not out of the race, and he's going to get a lap back with the wave around there, as he did not pit now. So he should be 2 laps down, as we once again gain 1 spot, just like we did at the end of Stage 1. So now on the outside in P8, as the third and final stage is underway here at Richmond Raceway for the Federated Auto Parts 400. Now right behind Brad Keselowski, and that number 41 Ford Mustang is there. 3 wide in front of us through turns 1. Sam Mayer not wasting any time at all on the inside of the 19 of Harrison Burton. Almirola now up my inside as we go down into turn 3 wide again with Blaney, now Burton and Keselowski. I've been in this position before at Richmond, where the guys in front of me kept going 3 wide and I kept getting held up, and I think it was actually the same driver of Harrison Burton in that position before now as well. So we're losing track position because I can't get to the inside, but I have nowhere to go in front of these guys because they continue to go 3 wide. Now it's Daniel Hemrick, who started in the very last position up my inside, making a pass on us here in Stage 3. So we are continuing to drop down the order, but finally, as Christopher Bell gets past, we get down to the inside and now fall to P13, but then I brake for the corner. The car went straight. I just locked up the brakes a little bit there. Stenhouse now to my inside as well. Timmy Hill just behind. I let Stenhouse go. I said, you know what? I just got to get to that inside, because if we can't get to the bottom, we're going to have no chance whatsoever to get a good result here in Richmond. Now, as I'm trying to cross over there, sure enough, we get to that left-hand side of Stenhouse with 36 laps to go. In Stage 1, once again, under the braking, the car did not react very well to that. I do cover off Timmy Hill just in time to make sure he can't get to my inside and force us 3 wide in the middle. But as we go down into turn 3, Stenhouse putting up quite the fight for the moment, but as we came through out of turns 4, we would clear him and move up into P13, and now finally we can try to get a move on with it here now on lap 67 with 34 laps remaining, down into turns 1 up the inside of Eric Almirola as we come through out of turns 2. A very easy pass on him. I did leave him some room there. Is out of turns to a big incident there. The 42 saw the 11 of Denny Hamlin go around. The 33 of Austin Cindric, a big crash there. Some heavy hits down the back straightaway. The caution comes out here in Richmond, and now it comes down to a pit stop. I decided to take 2 right side tires, which might be the wrong call here because our tires are pretty good, and yeah, we lost 7 positions, but it could be a lot worse. We've been in P19 already here in this race after a caution came out, so my hopes were still pretty high now as we were back underway once again. Cindric out of the race, already has a win this season at Road America, so he has nothing to worry about. He is locked into the playoffs, and something similar to the last season is once again we're having a lot of different winners again this season. So right now with Derek Kraus out in front, Cole Custer up in the mix as well, that opportunity for a new winner once again is very, very possible now as we go down into turns 3. Don't want to waste a lot of time. We have fresher tires all of a sudden than these guys who took no tires whatsoever. Now they just took fuel only. 29 laps to go. We go 3 wide up the inside here of Kyle Busch into turns 1. Eric Almirola on the far outside. Kyle Busch already won the season as well, but we already moved back up in about P13, so we're right back in that area of where we were before that caution came out, and it only took us about 1 lap to get that back. So definitely satisfied with that call already now as we would continue attacking to the inside now of the 4 car of Haley Deegan. We got past Noah Gregson as well, and now as we exit turns 2 to the inside of Timmy Hill, but he holds us off for a brief moment. Timmy Hill has had a terrible start to his season in his initial season or debut season with Chip Ganassi Racing now, but we would clear him out of turns 2, move up into P10 once again on lap 76 as Alex Bowman back out in front trying to deliver Hendrick Motorsports their first win so far this season now as we would as well get to the inside of Derek Kraus. Some contact with Derek Kraus on the exit of turn 2. He was just leading a handful of laps ago, and now into turn 3 he goes for a big power slide. I mentioned earlier that was going to happen at some point. Sure enough, it happens right there. Fortunately, he was running the high line, and that's actually why he dropped back. He went from leading to P10 just because he ran the high line and refused to drop to the bottom. We made that contact. He went sliding, but fortunately, it would have been a lot worse if he would have tried to enter the corner on the bottom, but him being up top made it a way less of an incident and allowed him to stay in it a little bit. But now on lap 90, only 11 laps to go in this race, 9th place, so we're looking at a top 10, and then the caution comes out again here in Richmond. Alex Bowman, Brad Keselowski, Christopher Bell, Harrison Burton, and Joey Logano, your top 5 here as we're going to get ready to go green for a late race restart. Nobody coming into the pit lane except for Ryan Preece, who would be my guess of the reasoning for the caution now. So we're going to get ready to go green now on the inside line. We have that advantage, and we also have fresher tires, but at this point in the race, I don't know if they're really going to help us a whole lot now as we get back underway now. Bowman leading the way, looking for win number 1 on the season now, as I was really hoping he was going to be able to pull this off. Obviously, with 8 laps to go, running 9th place, we're not going to have a chance to win this thing, but we still can get a good finish out of it. Now as Christopher Bell forces it 3 wide with Alex Bowman and Keselowski, and Bell goes to the lead here in that number 20 car, looking for his first win after going winless all of last season as well. So now Logano moves through into P2. Bowman still 3 wide in the middle. I get loose there on the exit of turn 4. Cole Custer passes Bowman, and now Sam Mayer takes the 48 and the 41, 3 wide into turns 1, and Bowman drops like a rock to P6. I actually help him out right here. I let him in a little bit now, give him a bit of a break now, as I felt really bad for him on that restart now as we're up the inside of Burton into turn 3, but now Bowman already on the move up the inside again of Sam Mayer. Keselowski as well. I tried to get to the inside of the 41, couldn't quite pull it off, and Keselowski ended up passing Bowman, who once again jumped back up to the top, and I had a chance to pass him there, but then Hendrick slips up my inside, so now I get caught off guard. I drop down to P7. Joey Logano took the lead away from Christopher Bell, and now Keselowski in the 41 passes Bell as well, moves up into the runner-up position in the final couple laps. Logano now on lap 97 all the way to the top. Keselowski to the bottom. I'm now under pressure and under attack from the 19 of Harrison Burton as we go down into turn 3. Bowman now up the inside of the 20. He's fighting his way back into it. 2 laps to go in this race. Now running P8 behind that 29 of Cole Custer. Just didn't have the speed to just really fight with these guys here in the final couple laps now. But Keselowski with a lap and a half to go leads the way down the back straightaway now in his opening season with Stuart Haas racing in that 41 car. That 41 car has not gone to victory lane whatsoever in our career mode at all, with Cole Custer behind the wheel, and now in the first season with Keselowski behind it as he starts the final lap. He is about to change that now as we're side by side with Cole Custer. We clear him at ease as we exit turns 2 and down this back straightaway for the final time into turn 3. No pressure from behind, and Brad Keselowski out of turns 4 will come through to get his first win for Stuart Haas Racing and punch his ticket into the playoffs here as we come through to cross the line with a strong 7th place finish in the Federated Auto Parts Motorsports 400. Our teammate of Alex Bowman up there in P3. Unfortunately, Chase Elliott could never get up into the top 10 after he ran into the top 10 for a good portion of the race, but Elliott actually not even in the top 15. He was all the way down in P17 by the time that race came to a close. Now Eric Jones rounding out the top 20. Denny Hamlin in P21 after starting on pole. So a rough race for him as well. Our driver for Going Racing, Daniel Suarez, a rough day down in P34. So it wasn't the day he wanted now. But overall, I felt like this was a nice step in the right direction. Just fresh off of the news of Rick Hendrick stepping down, giving his leadership over to Jeff Gordon at the end of the season. And we come and back that up in the same episode with a strong result for at least half the team. Bowman up there in the top 5, myself in the top 10, Elliott with a decent showing but a rough finish, and then Kyle Larson, he was just slow the whole race. So hopefully we can get this whole team going in the right direction here in the future. There you saw the playoff grids. In the next episode, it's only a cup race, and that's actually at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So very excited for that one. That one comes down to raw speed because you're full throttle the whole time, so I'm not sure really what to expect from Hendrick Motorsports there, but hopefully it will go well in our advantage. But look at that, 10 different winners, and we still have, 14 races to go in the regular season. So hopefully we do not hit 16 different winners, because right now it's not looking great for HMS, who's 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th there. So hopefully we can step it up here. Now, as always, if you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. Thank you all for taking the time of your day to watch this episode. And of course, I would like to say thank you to the Going members on the channel of MJ, Joseph 9001, Timothy Arline, Bubba Jr., Brett Durward, Dark Gengar Gaming, AJ Vasseur, Dana 9302, Russell Dixon, as well as Kenneth Barnett. Now, as you guys help me out so much, and I really do appreciate the support continuously, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.